No one can dispute that over the last few decades, antibiotics have saved countless lives. But what's also not up for dispute is the damage antibiotics cause to your health. They wipe out your gut microbiome to the tune of 1/10 of the previous level. That's not 10%. That's 90%. It's 1/10 of where you were. They also create pockets of superbugs that are now resistant to antibiotics. So the more you have them, the more damage is caused. So we don't want to just go and give them out like candy when a kid is having viral ear infections and antibiotics aren't going to do anything for them. You definitely don't take them as a precaution. And the more you have them, the worse it's going to be for that child. No wonder so many kids have chronic health issues right now. But there is going to be times where we need to have them. Maybe you have a very nasty strep throat or an abscess or an open skin wound that's got infected. And so when that happens, we need to start healing our gut properly. That way you get the great benefits of the antibiotic without the side effects and the chronic health issues. So what can we do? Well, number one, we can take some targeted probiotics, and we need to take these for about 3 to 6 months after you're done with the antibiotics to keep replenishing everything there. Probiotics, we never want to take just one strain and take that same strain over and over and over, because you will create dysbiosis, meaning too much of even a good bacteria. So what do you want to mix in? Strains of the Lactobacilli, Bifidobacteria, and it's also a good idea to have some Saccharomyces boulardii, which is going to stop the Candida infections, because Candida is a very opportunistic yeast that's going to move in when the good guys have been evicted that would normally stop that. So again, this is 3 to 6 months we want to take them. You do want to take them while you're having your antibiotics, but you want to take them ideally 3 hours away from the antibiotics if you can help it, so they have the most chance of surviving. But you're also going to take them 3 to 4 times a day anyway, just to keep trying to replenish. So that's number one, those targeted probiotics. Number two, we need some good quality prebiotics, which we're mainly going to get from our food. Things like green bananas, asparagus, garlic, onion, sauerkraut, kimchi, flax seeds, even apples. They're all full of good prebiotic food for all the good bacteria to come back in and feed on that. But we can also take some prebiotics as well. There's some great HMO products through a company called Leia Origin that I really like, and I use those every day as a maintenance anyway. I think as a maintenance, prebiotics are actually better for you than probiotics. You want to use probiotics if you've done a stool test and you know you're deficient in a certain strain, or if you're taking antibiotics like we've talked here. Otherwise, prebiotics are the thing you want to take on a daily maintenance level. Obviously, we also need to have a nice diverse diet to get all the good bacteria back into our stomach. So there's different arguments out there about how much fiber versus how much meat and all those kind of things. But I think for the vast majority of people, if we have a combination of good quality grass-fed meat, especially eating nose to tail, so a lot of organ meat, because unfortunately, whether you like the texture and the sound of it or not, that's where you're going to get the best micronutrients. We need to get that. We can have lots of organic fruit, lots of organic, non-toxic plants. So there's some really healthy vegetables out there. And then there's some that you might have been told are healthy, but they're full of lectins, which are going to completely rip apart your gut and create more inflammation and stress anyway. And definitely things like beans that are very high in the diversity that our microbiome needs, but they have to be pressure cooked because, again, they're so full of lectins, but the pressure cooking will break them down. I've got some other videos on lectins if this is the first time you've heard about those. Hey there, I just wanted to let you know, as a thank you for watching my video, I wanted to send you my free guide on the 13 foods to boost your mood. So you can click in on the link in the description if you want to download that. There's so many people watching this video who are probably suffering with gut health issues, and sometimes even just changing the foods we eat can make all the difference in the world. So that's my free gift to you. Please grab it, take advantage of it. Anyway, back to the video. We also need to reduce stress. There's so much research now showing that when we're under stress, whether it's for a short period or a long period, we trigger the hormones like adrenaline and cortisol that keep us trapped in a fight-flight response. That's our sympathetic nervous system. That is not good for the gut. It alters the gut microbiome, and our gut's not going to work properly, because if you think about it, if you're in a dangerous situation, like when all this probably first started, we were being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, we needed to fight or we needed to run. That meant we needed blood going to our lungs, our heart, our powerful muscles, our brain, and we pulled blood away from the surface so if we get cut, we don't bleed to death as easily. And what don't we need during a short fight-flight response? We don't need our reproductive system, our GI or gut system, or our immune system. So when you're chronically in a stressed out state, that's why it's easier to get sick. That's why you have so many gut problems. So we have to get out of that sympathetic and into the parasympathetic state more often. So how do we reduce stress? Whether it's changing your job, whether it's having some crucial conversations you need to have, writing in a gratitude journal, meditating, whatever works for you. Then we have exercise. Research has shown that exercise will change the makeup of our bacteria and our microbiome again. Stimulates the growth of the right bacteria that we need to improve and strengthen the gut barrier, which is going to help with all those leaky gut issues. So exercise as much as you can anyway, but especially once you've got over having a course of antibiotics, it's only going to help. The next one is stop smoking. Now, there's none of you out there who are smokers who are under any illusions that smoking is good for you. I know you all know it's bad. The problem is, it's so bad for you that it is crushing your gut microbiome every time you have a cigarette, every time you smoke, all those chemicals, it's destroying your gut, it's creating inflammation everywhere, it's building up cancer cells, it's doing all this stuff. I know it's addictive, I know it's really hard, but you've got to try whatever you can to get that out of your life because it's probably the most toxic thing you're doing. Then we also need to minimize alcohol. Research shows that alcohol creates negative gut microbiome changes again, which leads to leaky gut and inflammation. You're hearing the same theme over and over. It also weakens the liver's ability to detox, and that is crucial because our liver is the main place that's going to help our body get rid of toxins as well as pathogens like parasites, viruses, things like that. So then when you also take antibiotics, which also reduce the liver's ability to detox, now you're in a lot more trouble. So there are some alcohols that are worse or better than others. A good rule of thumb is a clean organic red wine is going to be high in polyphenols, which means you're going to get some good benefits from that too. But we certainly don't want to be drinking regularly and consistently, and definitely not binge drinking. Then the last one is get some good quality sleep. Sleep is so important for our overall health. We know poor sleep creates poor conditions for our microbiome, other than just also creating stress in the body and lots of inflammation and poor gut health and all this same thing that comes back in. Sleep is when we heal. It's when our body can fight bugs. It's when the gut can heal. All of that is so important. So if you've got to take antibiotics and you're making the gut even worse, sleep becomes even more important. So with sleep, it's a good idea to get something like an Oura Ring that tracks your sleep so you know, one, am I getting enough? But that alone isn't the most important bit. Two, what's the quality like? Am I getting enough deep sleep, enough REM sleep? What's my heart rate variability doing? All those kind of things. And again, I've got tons of videos on sleep you can go and watch. So they're the things you need to do if you have to take antibiotics. So the best way to heal from antibiotics is don't take them. But of course, there's going to be times where you have to. But let's limit how often we take them. Take them only if needed and only if it's a serious bacterial infection, not viral. Then we're going to take targeted probiotics, eat prebiotic-rich foods and take prebiotics, have a nice diverse diet. We're going to reduce stress, exercise more, quit smoking, minimize or quit alcohol, and we're going to get good quality sleep. If you do all of that for 3 to 6 months after antibiotics, you will heal basically to about as 100% as you can, and you'll minimize the damage. Then it's a good idea just to keep doing all that stuff all the time. So if you want more information on good quality gut health and how to heal your gut if there's been a problem, then you can join my free Facebook group where we share tons of strategies like what I've talked about here today to help people overcome their gut health issues.